Ruckerman.
We are live. Sbtalksports, Sean Webb, Real Takes Over, Fake Debates, coming live at you here on most platforms. Sorry, I had to stand a little bit. My dumb self closed out the Instagram. I closed out the Instagram live. I had to set it back up. But shout out everybody, man. Shout out to you, Sean. How you doing today, brother?
SB, I'm doing good, man. Happy Monday. Happy first of the month to you, man. How you doing?
I'm chilling, man. In like regular lifetime, regular life stuff, I'm okay. With my basketball team wise, I'm suffering, just suffering. Look down. So I'm gonna go to swiftenergy.com and get 20% on my order when I click RTOFD in a promo spot. So go ahead and go do that too if you're down like me right now. But a lot of things have been going on, Sean. And right before the show just started, we got some breaking news. Sean, the breaking news is somebody, my favorite player in the NBA right now, Jayson Tatum, has become the highest paid player in the NBA. Yes, highest paid player in the NBA, Jayson Tatum. How was your reaction? And how does Boston have all this money to be signing everybody? They don't re-sign everybody.
Yeah, first of all, congratulations to Jayson Tatum. We knew this was going to come. Remember, Jaylen Brown got his extension last year.
Mm-hmm.
So, the fact Jayson Tatum is, extension eligible this year. Listen, not surprising at all. Congratulations to him. This is, where contracts are heading with the new media rights deal, set to come into place and starting in 2025. The money's only going to get bigger and better. And of course, if you're the Celtics, it makes sense, SB, right? Because you want to lock up your core. So when you look at, obviously Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, we got another guy we're going to talk about here in a moment who also, signed an extension, Drew Holiday. The only person who's not on a long-term contract is Porzingis, and he's got 2 years left on his deal, his extension. This is what you do. You got a team that can contend for titles. This is what you do. And now they got to, be willing to, and they understand this. And of course, we got another Celtics. It's going to feel like a Celtics podcast starting
today.
Out.
Oh, yeah. Man, yeah. Today, I don't.
Yeah, but the reality of it is this is just, part of the business. And, he's earned every penny, clearly. And,
yes, he did.
And will continue to do so. So one of the best players in the league, not a surprise at all from my perspective.
Yeah, top 5 player in the league, Jayson Tatum by far, easily. With Tatum, well deserved. He just brought Boston Celtics a championship. Even though Boston Celtics are a very historic team, they treat the championships like how the 85 Bears do. So, they gonna milk this championship. He solidified himself as a Celtics legend already. And he delivered. At the end of the day, you got to pay the man. You got that. That's the best player of your team. He actually delivered and did his job. So I say pay the man. You got to pay the man. I'm not mad at it at all. Also, I'm going to say salute Tiffany in the chat. Oh, my boy Dylan in the building. He says, "It's been a minute. What you think of free agents so far? Insane. What about you, Sean?"
I mean, it's been interesting. This
Yes.
isn't, certainly this isn't 2010 or 2016, but it's been interesting. Obviously, we got a couple free agent moves to talk about, but that's this is that time of year.
The nature it's the nature of the beast. So I move all this stuff out the way. And he said, "Bro, the Celtics got limited money, man. How are they able to pay all these guys?" Sean?
Well, I mean, again, this is how the CBA is structured. When you have guys who make all NBA, they become eligible for Supermax extensions. Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum have made all NBA in the last couple of years. They're eligible for Supermax extensions. So this is what it is. And again, they are their only two max players. Everyone else on that team is not making max. So so that's the other way they're able to do it. But also they understand that they're in the aprons. They're going to be to the point where they could be potentially hard cap. They got their core locked in, and they got some young guys on decent deals locked in. They're ready to basically run it back. So this is the business, y'all.
This is the 100% is the business. I once again, like I said, you gotta pay the guys because they did their thing. They won a championship. And another guy who was a key part of winning a championship for this Boston Celtics team was and is Derrick White. It's had a 4-year, $125 million deal. I feel like that was good on them to cash out on for Derrick White. I think this was smart on the Celtics. But what about you, Sean? How do you feel about it?
Oh, it's absolutely smart. Again, you just look at the makeup of their team. The five guys who basically make up the core of their team are all under contract, with the exception of Porzingis, for at least the next 4 to 5 years. So it's that matters. They have said, well, this is our core. We're going all in with our core. One thing I will say about these contracts, though, and I hope people understand, a lot of times, when you do these deals with the intent that this guy is going to play here, but also you structure these deals in such a way that if you need to move these contracts, in a future deal, they usually are pretty, easy to move. And so, Derrick White, again, I don't think I'm not sitting there trying to move him. I'm just saying, understand how contracts move and work in sports and in the NBA in particular. So, but
especially one team on our list we're gonna talk about. He can't move this one guy on this contract. Well, we're gonna get to that point when we get there.
Yeah. So that's all it is. SB is just again, good deal for him, good deal for the Celtics. Their core is locked up, and they can start focusing on trying to come back and defend their championship.
And I think they're doing a good job at like keeping everybody together and getting everybody on reasonable deals, giving their main two guys a lot of money. And I think they're doing a great job with that. And right now, the Celtics are still the best team in the East, as constructed right now. I think I got but the Paul George move is questionable for the second spot. But I think right now we can honestly say the Celtics is guaranteed the best team. And they go Philly or Knicks and Philly, the top 3 teams in the East. So if you can still keep all your players and still stay at the top of the league, because a lot of things have changed. After this last couple of days, Sean, a lot of things have changed. But another thing that also is going to change for the Boston Celtics is the ownership. Boston Celtics is putting the franchise up for sale. What is going on, Sean? It's just like we've been trying to do this. Now we at the top of our game. Let's go ahead and get the team while the team is hot, try to get a profit. What's going on? Why is the Celtics for sale?
So I mean, again, I don't want to necessarily get into the mind and the head of NBA owners. But if I were a betting man, and I want people to keep in mind, Mark Cuban sold a majority share of the Dallas Mavericks, less than a year ago. Where the business is going, and people look at the national media deal, the media deal, new NBA rights media deal. That's a national deal.
Yeah.
But these teams also have to negotiate a local media rights deal as well. So when you look at where things are trending, the money from the local media rights deal for some of these franchises may not be there as they once projected. But also, this ownership has owned the team for 22 years. They bought them in 2002. And what they're gonna get for the Celtics is not what they paid for the Celtics.
Oh no, they finna get a couple Billy. And then Dylan says, "Shout out, thanks for." Oh man, don't bring that up, man. Salute Da Vinci. And also, everybody in the TikTok chat, let's get to 1K likes. Get us to 1K likes. Why be better than TikTok said? Pelicans is a conference finals team after their rebuild. Right now, I don't know. Can Zion even stay healthy for that? I don't know.
But, and we don't know what Brandon Ingram's status is yet either. So that's the other thing. Let's see what his status is first.
We gotta see what that is.
Yeah.
But on point about the Celtics ownership group, I'd say like this. This is like like how my grandmother got a crib now, the house they got now. If they was to sell that house now, it'll probably be double what they paid back in the day for it was. The profit of everything has went up. And then I think this was the perfect time to do it right after winning the championship. Everybody's happy. The parade's going crazy. And I think this is the perfect time to do it. That's just me. I think this is a perfect time to do it. And you're going to get a lot of money for it. And also with as much as these players' contracts going up and up, everybody wondering why like Ginny can't go as crazy. Steve Ballmer, the pockets got to, it started getting to the point, the pockets got to be heavy to be an owner. Or your team better make a lot of money every year because Jayson Tatum get 300. Imagine it's gonna get to a point where they're gonna be making like the baseball money at some point.
Yeah.
Or you ever think they're gonna like cap it at a salary cap? Like, hey, look, we ain't going no higher than this, or it's gonna always go up.
I mean, I think it just the nature of inflation, SB, it will always go up incrementally. And again, it's gonna go up in 2025 with the new media rights deal. So that's part of this. It could potentially go up once the league does expansion in the next, few years. So it's going to always go up. And so a lot of times when they do these contracts, it's with the understanding that, yes, we expect the cap to go up because of inflation. It is the nature of beast. As long as more money keeps coming in every year, the salary cap will go up. But you're not going to, again, are we going to get to the place where we have a $500 million salary cap? Maybe not in our lifetime, but it could. So
it's looking like it's gonna go to that point though. It's looking like it's getting to that point. Yeah. Oh, somebody in the TikTok chat is a consistent Heat fan like you. Global Zai said, "Why hasn't Mitchell signed an extension yet?" I'm a Heat fan, so I'm curious.
So again, a lot of times with extensions, it's just you got to work through a lot of the different logistics in terms of what the structure of the extension is. He can sign up to a 4-year extension. Is it going to be 3+1, meaning it's going to be a player option on the end? Is he going to opt into, his player option because he has a player option at the end of this particular contract, and then they do an extension on that? So a lot of times it's just working on the logistics of how the deal will be structured based on the current contract. But Cleveland wants to get it done. They want to get an extension done. I think he hasn't come out and said it, but by all accounts, it seems like he is interested in extending there.
I mean, after Mikal Bridges went to the Knicks, you're not going to New York. Do you want to go to the Brooklyn Nets?
No, you definitely don't want to go to Brooklyn. Brooklyn is selling; they're not buying; they're selling. So
everything must go.
But again, it takes time. There's a lot of back and forth between the players' team and between the actual team, and so it's just figuring out the structure of the contract and what it'll look like. That's all.
Yeah. Let us know in the comment section. Leave it under the YouTube video too. What you guys think about the Celtics putting their ownership group up or anything about the Celtics. Let us know. And Dylan, yes, I'll see your comment. We will talk about Zach LaVine later. I will definitely keep your question, and man, I'm gonna come back to it when we get on the Zach LaVine topic. But Sean, something happened that I would have never thought. Well, I'm not gonna lie. It comes with the game of basketball, so things like this do happen from time to time. And a lot of fans of this era of basketball don't understand or see one guy stay with the team, and then the dynamic of the stars breaking up, you would think somebody's going to be that for lifer, because in this era with the player mobility, everybody moves, everybody go to different teams all the time. So everybody was just used to it. This is this generation first time seeing this happen, Sean. Klay Thompson has just left the Golden State Warriors and to join the Mavericks after making the finals, which I think this is the player that they need for $50 million. And it just came out report that the Lakers offered him 4 years, 80, and he turned it down. So why, before we get to him going to the Mavericks, why would he turn down the Lakers? I thought it was for money. Maybe he just
so let's run this down, SB. Let's put the Mavs on one side and the Lakers on the other side. Okay. So if I ask you, which team has the better roster?
The Mavericks.
Which team has the better organization?
Right now, the Mavericks.
Which team has the better coach?
The Mavericks.
Which team has the better superstar in their prime?
The Mavericks.
Which team has no state income tax?
The Mavericks. The Mavericks.
Which team is better built to contend today?
The Mavericks.
That's why.
I can't argue that one. I can't argue that one at all.
Yeah, the only thing the Lakers have is obviously him, growing up in that area for a little bit. His dad obviously played for the Lakers, but they don't have any realistic advantage over the Mavericks in terms of all the things that we just mentioned. So I think it came down to that. And I know, and apparently he and Kyrie are pretty cool. So I'm sure that probably helped as well. They're in the same draft class. They're with the same shoe company as well. Listen, it's a better situation. I know there are a lot of Laker fans out here who think, we're the Lakers and we can all. No. He wants to win. And the best way to stick it to the team that lets you go is to go to a team that's built to win.
And win, because the shots that Klay Thompson finna get, that's the most open he's going to probably be.
Yeah, and it's interesting, SB. I saw something yesterday, and I didn't even respond to it, but it was basically someone saying, why would Klay go to the Mavericks? They don't run any offense that he normally would run. I was like, you do understand when you bring players in, if they have done things for all these years, you add a lot of those sets into your offense. Your offense isn't just, we just run this. No, they're going to run some pin downs. They're going to run some down screen action for him. They're going to, one of the underrated things about Klay is he's an underrated screener who comes off and catches off the screen. So they're going to use his movement as a big part of their offense. It's just going to help evolve Dallas's offense. So this is a big coup for them, I believe. And also, I think the other piece of it too, for me, SB, and you might, I don't know if you agree with this or not, but I've been arguing for Luka. Luka's probably better guarding threes at this point. Trying to guard guys in the backcourt, he's barbecue chicken. So, Klay, while he's not what he once was defensively, is still, really good, solid defensively. And Dallas has rim protection with Derek Lively behind him. So, Dallas can be really, really good. I think they're going to be right back in the conversation, to in the West without question.
Yeah. And then now the reason why I love this move so much, because remember how I was talking about, you can't avoid Denver twice. Denver got weaker. They lost Caldwell Pope. Caldwell Pope was a key piece to that team. And you go add Klay to your team to step up another whole dynamic. Now it was like another thing that the Mavericks was missing was consistent shooting. I'm sorry. I know everybody want to gas this. Klay went 0 for 10 that one game. Klay Thompson is by far one of the greatest shooters of all time. If you're talking about pure shooting, I got him and Ray Allen as the 1 and 2. Just a pure jump shot, pure shooter. That's not gross. That jump shot is not going nowhere. Then you could go in the team where he's going. Clay's in a situation where he's going to be back like how it was when Kevin Durant was on the Warriors. You know how easy the game was for Klay Thompson, how many shots he was knocking down, and Klay Thompson could get hot at any point in time. Because man, they don't need Klay to be prime Klay. They just need him to be a knockdown shooter and a solid defender, in which that's what he's gonna be easily done. And then imagine you got a Luka ISO, you got PJ Washington on one side and Klay Thompson on the other side who can knock down shots, or just Klay Thompson waiting in the corner. You can't leave Klay now. And then if I go ISO, I'm always going to ISO close to the side of Klay. Because would you take the chance of leaving Klay Thompson open to double me?
No.
Because that's easy buckets. You can't do that. So I'm like, that's why I like this move. And then the perspective you put on it with that, and it's like, I can't be mad at Klay for doing it. I can't be mad at Klay for leaving.
Yeah, and I'll say this, SB. I know a lot of people look at what happened with with Denver losing, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. I think a couple things. I don't ever, because I think KCP's a really good player.
Solid.
He's a really solid player, but their team is built kind of on a timeline. So meaning Aaron Gordon, Joker, Murray, Porter a little bit younger. They're all kind of around the same age. So it's not that they didn't value KCP. They just had a price point where they understood this is about as far as we can go here. KCP got $22 million a year from Orlando. Denver couldn't pay that. They just couldn't. They understand where they are. But there's some guys out on the market that could be available to them at maybe half that what KCP got, who could provide maybe not exactly what he provided, but some of the same things. So
and they tried to get Klay too.
Yeah, and so is someone like DeMar, available at the mid-level exception? Would he choose them over the Lakers? Again, if I were him and I'm thinking about winning, it would be Denver.
Yeah.
So, so there's still some moves out there to be made. Obviously, we're still just, a couple days in the free agency, but we'll see what Denver does as well.
Dylan said Mavs gave up 2 second-rounders for Klay. Yep, 2 second-rounders.
And Josh Green going to Charlotte as a part of the trade.
Yep. So that was a steal for me. But like I said, I was bringing up the point of this is like this generation seeing like somebody with a dynasty team that you think was going to retire and stay with one team. This is their first time seeing it. What is the most recent one as a fan for you that happened? I mean, what's the most recent one, and what was the one that hit hard for you as a fan? Before we get into this Golden State talk.
Ooh, it's hard to say because San Antonio was a little different because Duncan retired in 2016.
Tony Parker in the Hornets jersey still looked disgusting.
Yeah, and then Tony Parker left, not long after that. But they were making the transition anyway, at that point. That's probably the closest. Obviously, we just talk about sports in general, SB, because this is what we do. Nobody ever thought they would see Michael Jordan in a Wizards uniform. No one ever thought they would see Peyton Manning in a Colts uniform. You never thought you would see Joe Montana in a Chiefs uniform. You never thought we'd see Karl Malone in a Laker uniform. So, it happens. This is the unfortunate thing. And I think also a reminder how much we should really celebrate guys who spend their entire career playing for one team. I know player movement, and I'm not against player movement at all, but to me, there's something that should be celebrated when a guy spends his whole career in one uniform, because it's rare. We just don't see it.
It's hard. And it's hard to do because then at some point you got to go to ups and downs of your team, because your team not going to be good your whole career. It's not. Right. I think Tim Duncan probably was the one rare guy that the Spurs were competing for championships his rookie year to where he was pretty much almost
to the end. Yeah.
To the end. That's what I'm saying. Like, I know a lot of people are like, no, somebody said this team was good. I'm talking about like, no, competing for championship. Tim Duncan went his whole 95% of his career, he was competing for a championship.
Wow.
And that is rare. So it'd be hard for you to stay with the team. You got ups and downs. You got different roster changes. Then you got core guys that you love a lot might get traded. How would they make you feel? Or you feel like the team's not doing enough for you? Like, cause now it's like, what's the question with Steph? I don't see Steph leaving Golden State, but at some point, if he like, what else he gonna do? Just be sitting there just losing these couple years? Because Steph ain't getting no younger.
Yeah,
Steph, like 30 what?
Steph's 35.
30. Oh, yeah, 35. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and also I think too, and what people really have to really understand, right, is, you know, Golden State's ownership has spent a lot of money really since, you know, 2017 in luxury tax.
That is true.
And they wanted to get that. They made it clear they wanted to get that under control, particularly because I think they kind of understand that era is over for them.
True.
And you know, and it's not always easy to retool and rebuild around an aging superstar. Whether we like to admit it or not, Steph Curry's 35. He's aging. So it's just the nature of, you know, nature of the beast. You know, and to your Tim Duncan point, SB, the last year of the Spurs with Tim Duncan, they won 67 games. Nobody talked about it because Golden State won 73 that season.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, so it's you know, it's just it's really difficult. But this is the nature of the game. You know, they were together, you know, he was there for 13 years. That core was together for 12 years. You know, so you know, you can't be mad with it. It's almost impossible to do it in today's NBA, and they did it. And you know, listen, he's got his jerseys going up in the rafters. We know that.
Better.
Yeah. Oh no, there's no question. They retiring KD's jersey. They retiring Klay's jersey.
Yeah, because you got what they got. How many championships altogether? What they have? Four championships. 2 back-to-back. They broke a season. They broke the regular season record together. They got MVPs out their group. The greatest shooting that I ever seen ever. And I Richie rap out on this. I will miss watching Steph and Klay together. That was magical basketball.
Yeah.
Blue ball in the chat too. He said, "Slew Sean and SB. Back then, did you guys criticize LeBron for leaving Cleveland and going to Miami in 2010? I guess you don't see Sean with the Heat hat on, so you know that he loved that. I didn't criticize the move. I understand. The only thing I was mad about, he stopped the Chicago Bulls from winning the championship. That was our time. That's what that stopped. That stopped that. But you think this man drifted Heat gear? He didn't criticize it at all.
No, listen. I worked in the office. The day of the decision was a Thursday. The next day I went to office. I had my Heat jersey on in the office the next day. They knew what's up. Like, yeah, it's what it is. So yeah.
We'll bring up old stuff, man. We was peak pride. We figured I was like, oh, got this one kid. We better go all the way. Nah, this man D Wade, Brown, and Bosch were to make the Avengers to stop the old folks home Avengers. Yeah, Go Jay said it's a darn shame that we couldn't keep the core together, but every great thing has to come to an end. Yeah, I feel like they maximized a lot from that group, though.
Yeah. I mean, listen. Think about it, SB. We all love comic books. You know, from the first Iron Man to Avengers Endgame, it always has to come to an end.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the nature of it, and you know, and so that's why you got to enjoy it while we have it, because it doesn't last forever. And you know, and so you know, just enjoy it while we have it.
If you was Steph, would you want to just finish it out? Because I think Steph 35. He only playing like three, maybe 4 more years. I think I probably just at this point I don't want enough, and I got my Finals MVP. I might just rock out and Golden State and just finish in Golden State.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would take a lot for him to leave. They still are very, very, committed to him as their franchise player. He is, in a lot of ways, kind of the Tim Duncan of this generation. And, you know, so I don't think he'll leave. I think the only way he would leave is, one, if he got a chance to go home and play in Charlotte.
Which he said he wanted to do.
He said, well, I mean, yeah.
If he was to lead the war, if he was to lead the war.
It sounds nice. But also, you know, if that move would somehow still help the Warriors. Because I think that's how he is, again, kind of the Duncan of this generation, very much, you know, committed to that organization because they've been very committed to him.
And they have done good by Steph. That I can't lie. They have, when Steph was dealing with the ankle problems, everybody down, and they still paid him. And they said they believed in him. What we about to say? What other big time free agents you think gonna fall into play? We gonna talk about that later in the show too. We gonna talk about the upcoming free agents. Stay around Blue Ball for that. He said, "Salute Blue Ball." Shout out Blue Ball. Blue Ball always come in showing love. Shout out Blue Ball. KCP was a low-key big signing for the Orlando match. Yes, he was. I like the KCP to Orlando. You got a nice young core. You bring in a vet who's used to winning to help these young guys figure it out more. That's why I like the KCP move. I think they sometimes when you got that young core, you need that vet in the locker room. And KCP has won two different teams. He won with the Lakers and the Nuggets. I don't think he won before that. On top of the head.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. So I think that'd be a good bet for them. But let us know what you think about the end of the era of the Warriors down in the comment section, and how far would the Dallas Mavericks go this next season? Are we going to see them back into the finals? Another team making another big move, though, Sean. The Philadelphia 76ers have signed Paul George. 4 years, $212 million. What was your reaction to see? Even though MB gave us a sneak peek, we did to know somebody come to my team. You know, I was like, tampering. But so he got his guy though. He got his guy. What was your reaction to Paul George signing to the Philadelphia 76ers?
Not surprising. Not surprising. You know, once the Clippers didn't want to give Paul George 4 years. He was very adamant he wanted 4 years. They thought he would sign an extension along the same line of Kawhi. He had to do what was in the best interest for him, getting that 4th year. That extra $50+ million is averaged out about $53 million a season. You know,
that LA tax too, because the LA tax different.
Yeah, no, the California state tax is very different. But also, again, you know, Paul George has never been to the finals. You know, and
which is shocking.
Not really. Not really. No. Well, no, and I don't say that to be facetious, SB. You know, you think when Indiana was a contender, they weren't better than the Heat with, you know, Bosh, Wade, and James. And then, you know, obviously he goes to Oklahoma City. I don't know if that was necessarily a great fit, you know, for him, but he was an MVP candidate there. And then he goes to the Clippers. The Clippers basically gut all of their assets, including sending a young Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to Oklahoma City to make it happen.
They regretting that.
I mean, maybe, but the Clippers, I mean, and I know a lot of people have been clowning the Clippers and blah, blah, blah. Listen, this era for the Clippers, because of how bad they have been as an organization, it's been good for them because they have been a terrible organization forever. And if you look at it, you couple this with the Lob City era, so basically the last, 12 years of Clippers basketball, it's been pretty good for them. They've been relevant. And whether people will admit it or not, they have been, in playoff contention, so they're not going to complain about this. But again, for them, it came down to they didn't want to give him that additional 4th year. Philly did. Philly had to do something, because, after the whole process and all that other stuff, they got really lucky with, drafting Tyrese Maxey, and we know what he's become. But you got to maximize Joel Embiid's window right now. We don't know how long Joel Embiid is going to be able to play at a high level and be relatively healthy. Maybe 2 to 3 years.
2 to 3 years.
So Philly had to do this. Daryl Morey had to, save the process. And, I guess we can talk about it, a little bit later, but, Philly is right there in the conversation in the Eastern Conference with this move, obviously, but it all comes down to Joel Embiid's health and availability.
Yep. You hit every point right on the head that I was going to pretty much agree with. I think this move was a great move for Philly because, like you said, you had to do something. My man says always that if you're not doing nothing, if you stay the same, you having a bad offseason. That's your team's going down. You always have to make a move. Everybody's always improving their team. I think this is another star to have behind for both guys, actually for Maxey and Embiid. I think Paul George's style of play and game will help them because Paul George can do what James Harden was doing with the dribbling and slight playmaking, create his own shot, but he ain't going to be over ball dominant with the ball. Paul George can play off the ball. Paul George is another good defensive wing. I think that's what they needed too. And then you just need another guy who can, until he start calling himself playoff. When he start calling himself playoff P, that's when the problems come in. They turn to pandemic P. If he just avoid all that nonsense and just hoop, Paul George is another guy who will get you a bucket at any point in time. And I will like skill wise, probably one of the most skilled basketball players in the league. But we just want to skill alone. Him and like Kyrie Irving is like one of the most skilled basketball players in the league. So you can't never necessarily deny that. So ain't no excuses now for Embiid or the 76ers. Embiid got to be healthy. Paul George, you in a situation where, even though I know you said it's not about winning championships, but you in a situation where you're one of the top 3 favorites in the Eastern Conference to make it to the finals. Obviously, the Celtics they the big dogs right now. They the top dog. So you got to get through the Celtics, and we can see what happened. Let me see. So I said the call PG. Yeah, PG. Yeah, PG's on the Sixers. Yes, PG's on the Sixers. But also, I wanted to talk about something. I know you tipped your hat at the Clippers for this little reign of basketball they had, because they have been atrocious. What I mean, atrocious franchise. But I still think the Clippers played themselves a little bit, because you gave a lot of picks up to get this core together. And a part of it is Kawhi too, because Kawhi kind of sold them over. He has not been healthy. But I think coming into this situation, you pretty much just said you picked Harden and Kawhi over Paul George, because Paul just didn't want that extra 4th year. But I just think they played themselves to the point where you got to execute this duo that you put together. Like, you can't keep coming up with failures, even though I know it's like, oh my God, the Clippers did a good job. You know what I'm saying? Them in Lob City. I think they got to execute this, because once this run is over, you gave up a lot of your picks for these next upcoming years. If Kawhi don't work out, I think Kawhi only got like 1 to 2 years left. So what's the game plan after this? You have no future after this. And you finna come into that new stadium. You got to fill seats. So you want to get 2 years of Kawhi. What's going to happen after that?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it's a very similar conversation to what's going to happen with the Lakers.
Which we're going to talk about next. We talk about them next.
The one thing you can't be in LA as a sports team or as anything is irrelevant.
You cannot.
Because there's too much going on where people be like, I ain't dealing with that. I ain't going. You got to give people a reason to come out and see you night in and night out. So, is Harden and Kawhi the answer to that? Maybe. But we'll see. But right now, hey, well, listen. I mean, if they the clown show, the Lakers are the jesters. So
they right behind it. They neck and neck.
Yeah. So let's just keep it real. So at least the Clippers have a real coach. But anyway. So yeah, no, I think
he coached the 8th graders. I mean, he coached the little ones, the 8-year-olds.
Yeah,
they understood what was going on. You know how hard you got to put up the game plan to stop the defensive presence of another 8-year-old. It was hard, man. It's like competing in the finals, man. He's prepared for this, Sean. We're not gonna let you do that to JJ Redick. He got the experience. He's a coach. Okay, he coached the 8-year-olds. They had chicken nuggets after the game. I can't even.
Yeah,
I can't even do
it. His wife gonna bring orange slices in the locker room for the Lakers after the game, like.
He back in Lunchables. Capri Suns and King with Z.
Yeah, Capri Suns and the fake Oreos. Like, come on, man. like come on, man. Whatever.
Look, man, Sean, he got it, man.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Kaminga said, hold on, I gotta move the TikTok over a little bit. I feel like they blame coaches too much. Do you agree with that with Kaminga?
Do they blame coaches too much?
He said he feel like they blame coaches too much. Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, I mean, I think they do blame coaches too much, because again, I think a lot of times it's more organization than it is coach, because a coach doesn't hire themselves.
Sure.
And so, it's some of the blame has to go to the organization, who's making the decisions, who's making the call, how involved is the ownership, how well structured is the front office, what does your scouting look like? All of that stuff matters. So yeah, I just think they don't do that enough, and ultimately it just comes down to them making a decision, that somebody's got to take the fall, and usually it's the coach.
Yeah. My only problem is when it comes to play when it's like it's glaring that it's clearly other problems with the team and what's going on, but they still blame. That's the one I don't like, when they still blame the coach off that one. Like, was it like with Monty with the Detroit Pistons? The Monty wasn't the problem, or with the Lakers, or not the Lakers, the Phoenix Suns. Who they let go? Frank Vogel. Frank Vogel wasn't the problem. You don't have a point guard. You don't have a big man that can defend. It's things like that. That's when I have a problem. I feel like that's when coaches get blamed too much for me.
Yeah.
But like you said, Sean, you brought up one LA team. We got to talk about the other one. My question is this: why free agents didn't want to sign with the Lakers? I mean, the glaring one is money, but it's LA, the Lake Show, and also Kuminga, the Bucks coach too. But we wouldn't have Adrian Grillin, but I mean, Doc Rivers didn't do no better. But why free agents didn't want to sign with the Lakers? They didn't sign nobody. What's going on? What's the problem besides money? Or you think it's just money?
No. I think whether it's fair or not, if the Lakers don't win, you will get the blame.
That's true. That's true. I mean, you see what happened. I don't think DeMar probably want to go back to LA, because you think about it. Look how they did Russ. Russ from LA. They crucified Russ.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and again, whether it's fair or not, you don't want to get the one. And also, I think again, guys are thinking about generally, more long term. Now, again, if you're a guy that's on a 1-year deal and you're just trying to get in, get you some minutes, get your value up, whatever, then yeah, the Lakers, could be an option. But if you're a guy who's thinking more long term, yeah, there's other opportunities out there that I just think are better short and long term. Because you just don't know. And I think, again, there's a lot of question marks around that organization and that franchise. And when you just look at other organizations throughout the league, there are some that are just better set up and in a better position to win. And so, yeah. So I think all those things factor in. I don't think it's just one thing. All those things factor in.
Yeah. Kaminga asked, where you think D'Lo going? He just signed that extension on the Lakers. He's gonna be right on the Lakers.
Yeah, he picked up his player option. So yeah. He's back with the Lakers. So
yeah. But yeah, for me, I definitely agree with that. Like, I think a lot of people don't want to play for the Lakers because you will get all the blame. I just seen them treat the LA native bad. But also, they just a bad organization. They people gotta admit the Lakers are one of those top teams. Just because you got a very popular fan base does not mean that your organization has been ran right. You can just look at like the recent moves that they have made for like a while now. Not just this. I know everybody trying to harp on the Bronny, JJ Redick thing, but just look at like the past moves they have made. Even when Kobe time. They had a gap when Shaq left. They had a gap in between during Kobe's span, and it took Kobe to say, "I'm finna leave the team," for them to go get Pau Gasol and actually make a championship team. And then after they went on that run, they had a bunch of young guys. They refused to either trade to get Kobe another championship team, and said, "Yeah, we're gonna develop these guys." And then as soon as Kobe retired, right after Kobe retired, they traded all of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's so, and also just let's also be very clear, right? Whether, and now this is not putting dirt on anybody's name, I'm just being very, very frank. When you look at that post Shaq Kobe time with the Lakers, even when they had money, guys were not trying to go to LA.
That's true.
That's true. Now, anybody can say, "Oh yeah, if I was available for trade, and yeah, KG and other guys and blah blah blah." Well, you didn't go there. I'm talking about like when LaMarcus Aldridge, for example, when visited, he signed with the Spurs.
Over the Lakers. That's tough.
There were multiple reasons for that. Part because he's from Texas and his children were in Texas at the time. But the Spurs better said, "Hey, here's how we're going to be set up. Here's how we're going to use you, blah, blah, blah." He said he went into the Lakers presentation. It wasn't even about basketball. It was about living in LA and these potential endorsement opportunities. And that wasn't where his mind was. His mind was on basketball. I think Phoenix met with him as well. And it was kind of the same thing with Phoenix. Like they were talking basketball. So it was a very unique situation. I just think you have to understand that the Lakers are one of 30. They are not special. They have to operate generally in the same rules and regulations and under the same constraints that the other 30 teams have to operate financially and otherwise. It's just guys are saying this is a better situation. Here's where I want to go. And again, I don't also discount the idea that if you're a guy, and KCP is a great example, KCP's coming to the Orlando Magic. Florida's a tax-free state. Klay took less money to go to Dallas. Texas, no state income tax. So, so those things factor in whether people realize it or not. California taxes are ridiculously high. So,
I can imagine. You got $1 million contract, you probably only take about half of that. You probably taking exactly half of that home. The other half is just gone.
Yeah, I mean, half is gone to the feds anyway. So, because you're at a higher tax rate. So it's a lot of different reasons why. But from a basketball perspective, they're just way better opportunities and way better situations than the Lakers, just to be honest.
Yeah, no, that's true. But let us know what y'all think about that in the comment section too. Why free agents didn't want to go to the Lakers? Let us know. But this next move that I've seen, I want to highlight this. We'll talk about this one because I think for his career at this point in time, it's bad because I figured that he might want to compete for a championship. But for the star player on that team, I think this was a match made in heaven for him. Chris Paul has plans to sign with the San Antonio Spurs. And I think this is great for Wemby. I think Chris Paul is going to make Wemby's job a lot easier. He's going to learn a lot from Chris. And I think if anybody can be an extension of Greg Popovich, exactly, Chris Paul can definitely do this job. What was your reaction to Chris Paul signing with the Spurs?
Yes, I mean, I think it's a good move for the Spurs. They did have some issues with, the point guard last year. Obviously, they drafted Stefan Castle. I know he said he wants to play the point. I don't know if he's a natural point, but even from that perspective, SB, Chris Paul can help him, mentor him, help him, if he's gonna do that long term, help him with that. But just a veteran guy who helps a young team kind of understand. Here's what it takes. Here's how you got to prepare. Blah blah blah. So he brings that in. But also, I think Chris Paul, wants to still show that he's, one of the better point guards in the league. And over the last couple of years, he hasn't, been able to do that, for multiple reasons, namely injury and just role. But, I think this is his swan song. This will be year 20 for him next season. I think this is it for him as well, along with someone else that we just, talk about seeing like every show. But, so it's a good move for the Spurs, but, but obviously not a long-term thing for them.
No, yeah. This next situation kind of hit close to home, obviously. I'm glad it's blocked off right now. The Bulls are on punishment for me and my fandom right now. But it was Lil Birdie, obviously. The Bulls are trying to rebuild. But it got to a point that no team wants Zach LaVine, Sean. We trying to rebuild over here, but why no team? Look, the Lakers always want everybody. Lakers don't want him. The Kings don't want him. Mavericks didn't want him. What's going on? Why no team wants Zach LaVine?
I think teams don't want to take on all that salary.
Hey, he did sign that contract. I think it's the contract too.
Yeah,
Zach not trash. He's not trash.
Yeah, they don't know. I mean, he's not trash, but also, how healthy is he? He had the foot surgery in February. He's going to be out 4 to 6 months. But I think it's that contract. It's just, and again, no contract is untradeable. But if I were a team and I'm taking on Zach LaVine, I got to get that 2025 first round pick from the Bulls easily. I'm saying as a Heat fan, I've been trying to talk myself into taking on Zach LaVine, but y'all got to take Tyler Hero. And
we can do that.
I need that first round pick in 2025.
Can't do that.
Yeah, and that's the point.
Can't do that.
I'm not getting that. I ain't doing it. I'm not doing it.
Y'all
keep that albatross of a contract. So
he can just send him to Detroit, because it's funny that you say that, though, right, Sean? I know they're not giving the 2025 one up. They're not getting that one up. But it has been reported that it's so bad that the Bulls are trying to attach a first-round pick to Zach LaVine to get him traded, and teams are still saying no.
Yeah. And again, which first-round pick? Because, again, if it's not 2025, I don't want to talk about it.
It ain't 2025 for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. Zach LaVine, we said Zach LaVine can't get out of Chicago. Yeah, he can't. We want him out. We want him out of Chicago. Kaminga said, "How do you feel about the Warriors declining a Wiggins and CP trade for Zach LaVine?" Which was kind of crazy.
They don't want that contract.
That's so it's just the money.
It's the contract. It's the length. It's the amount. They don't want it.
Hey, bro, imagine that you can't get traded at all, and people say, bro, we don't even want a first. We good, bro. We don't want that kind. Dang, that's
well,
crazy.
Let me ask you something, JSB. Let me ask you something, right?
Mm.
If the Wizards offered you Jordan Poole straight up for Zach LaVine, would you take that deal?
No, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Is it a first coming with it?
No, it's a straight up.
Can't do it. Give me another scenario. Who else you got? I can't do that one. Come on, man. That was a low blow.
Yeah. I'm trying to talk myself into trading them the white Jordan Poole from Miami but I need that first round pick in 2025 to do it.
We doing y'all a favor too. Take a look. No. I say give us Hero, Duncan.
No. We keep Duncan. No, we keep Duncan. No, y'all get Hero.
Who else you want to give up?
I don't know. I had to look at the money.
Let's give you Hero in the first. We good.
No. I need that first in 2025 though.
We giving you a better player. We giving you a better player.
Listen, we already got one guy from Chicago who don't play a lot anymore. From their play for the Bulls. I don't want two. So no, I need somebody that's going to be ready to play and play a lot. So no.
You just got to go ahead and sign DeMar DeRozan, man. That's it. Just take DeMar.
Yeah.
I mean, you give us Jimmy Butler back. It's just like you for the leave. Give us Jimmy back.
No.
That's crazy.
I'm good.
Jimmy for the league. Another quick story, real quick. JD Bickerstaff has signed to the Detroit Pistons as the new head coach. What was your reaction to this move?
Well, shouldn't have been available in the first place.
I agree with that.
But that said, good coach for Detroit. Big thing for Detroit. Get you some stability. Hang on to him. It's not going to be a great season next year. You saw what he did in Cleveland. He took over a disaster from John Beilein. Every year they got better. They went further in the playoffs. Obviously, get to the second round this past season. Just if he's your coach, he's your coach. Just ride with him. Obviously, you sign Cade to the max rookie extension. Now just figure out your rock and get you some shooting. All right, all these athletes are great, but you need shooting. Get you some shooting.
Can't nobody shoot on that team, dog.
It's bad. So get you some shooting. Bad. But good hire for Detroit.
I think it's a solid hire. Obviously, I don't think they should get rid of Monty, but obviously, somebody new took over. You want his own guy in a situation. Then you got a bigger staff available. Like I agree with you too. The Cavs should never had let him go, but whatever. That's a different story for a different day. But I think it's a solid. All right, Sean. We see all the moves that have happened, and I want y'all to time in too in the chats too. I want to for the chat. Give me y'all top winner of free agency and y'all top loser of free agency. But Sean, for you, who are your winners in free agency?
Philadelphia, definitely. Paul George, absolutely. Getting another $200 million bag at his age.
Get that last hoorah.
Yeah. So Philly, definitely. I like the KCP to Orlando thing as well. I think it's a solid move for them. He's a vet. He's going to come in, bring professionalism, give that team just another boost in that area, just a veteran presence. So those will probably be my two big winners. My losers. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Wait, no. And Dallas, of course. But Dallas, for me, theirs is an asterisk because it goes all the way back to the trade deadline this past season. What they've done with that roster in the last, 5 months has been nothing short of amazing. Turning it over, Nico Harrison and that front office doing the job. And so, so Dallas, without question.
Shout out Grant Williams, because if Grant Williams wasn't disgruntled and getting mad at Luka, they would have never made that move. Yeah. What about your losers? I'll say my winners and losers after you. What about your losers? Who you got?
I don't want to say there's a loser thus far. Because again, I think guys are moving and losing for different reasons. You know what? I'm gonna add another winner. OKC. The Hartenstein pickup.
That was nice. I like that move.
I like the Hartenstein pickup for them. And listen,
Did you know he black, right? He black, bro. His daddy blacker than me and you. Trust me, he black. He black. He black. He black. Did you know that though?
I heard something.
No, I see the picture of his dad.
Now, I saw a picture of his dad too, but I they said Michael Jackson kids is black too. I don't buy it. So all I'm saying is, I just, anyway, that's not the point. But no,
might not be Michael Jackson kids. That's a
different
story.
That might not be his son, So I'm just saying.
No, he looked like his dad.
I'm just saying. I need to see the DNA. Give me the 23andMe.
Mama G's just a little strong. Mama G's just a little strong, man. That's it.
Yeah.
But I like the Hartenstein move too. I like the Hartenstein move.
Yeah.
But no losers for you yet. I definitely got it. Okay. For me, winners, I definitely have to go Dallas. Dallas to get that move and to see what happened in the finals, and you just need another guy. Because 3-point shooting was the problem, defense was the problem too, and you added there quick, and then you get a guy with a championship experience who was a part of a dynasty. This gave me like when Ray Allen went to Boston type vibes, or Ray Allen went to the Heat. Like, you just need that other extra vet guy who actually been through situations that can help you get over the hump. And then you got the New York Knicks. I'm going Knicks. The Knicks for sure. I know it was like a trade, but I think for him to get Mikal Bridges, I think 5 first-round picks is a little steep, but like you said, you got to improve in the East, and they knocked out 2 of their problems that they had. You got to have somebody that Tibbs can't hurt. He play all 82 games. If somebody Tibbs can't get injured, he play all 82 games, and he fit the system perfect, and he come to team chemistry well. So, like, that's sometimes the big name doesn't always matter. It's about team chemistry, and I think the New York Knicks got good team chemistry. I think I would like to see him get another big who can help defend in the paint, but that'll be my 2 winners for sure out of everybody. The losers, 100% the Lakers and the Chicago Bulls. Like, the Lakers, you got LeBron sitting back, which I didn't think he was going to do because I heard that 160. He said he's willing to take a pay cut if you could get anybody else in here. Nobody wanted to come. LeBron was calling. LeBron been calling people. Ain't nobody. He called Klay. Klay was like, yeah. I got to go talk to them real quick. I'm going to be back, bro. I'm going to be back. And then he never returned. I don't really know who else is available for the Lakers, which we're going to talk about right there. But then Chicago Bulls, you got a star player on a stupid big contract, and you want to rebuild, and you can't even rebuild because nobody wants that guy. Like, you stuck in the middle betweenville where you want to be in the middle, or you don't want to be that person. You definitely don't. So I think the Bulls are stuck in a rock and a hard place. So those are my 2 losers for me, for sure. All right, Sean. But like you said, it's still more people available. I'm trying to look up the list right now. Who is the best free agent that's available right now?
Right off top, SB is DeMar DeRozan. And I'll tell you this. If I were DeMar DeRozan, I don't know if they've called, but I'd be trying to see if I can find my way to Denver.
You think he can help Denver?
I think he can absolutely help Denver. I think he can absolutely help Denver because, again, this is not a slight to KCP. KCP was really good, really solid for them. But one of the things one of their issues is when Jamal Murray or Joker goes to the bench, their only other real kind of shot creator is Michael Porter Jr. So, and that's not really what KCP does. We know DeMar DeRozan is a shot creator.
Shot chucker too.
Well, he's going to have to scale that back. Like, that's the one thing. You can't just come down and just chuck shots. But in certain lineups, yeah, he'll probably have a little more of a green light just depending on who's on the floor with him. But I think he, certainly, he's a vet. He's never, again, someone who hasn't won. Is in my mind, this isn't about getting another huge bag. Is do you want to trying to win? And again, if they're able to replace DeMar DeRozan with that mid-level exception, it wouldn't be bad. And again, he's not a long-term answer, but I think for the next couple of years, keeping that lineup, those four guys with DeMar DeRozan, I think could be, really good, provided they can, fill out the rest of their bench.
All right. Kaminga got a question, and then also the free agent I'm looking at, like the list of LeBron don't count because LeBron ain't going nowhere. But Kaminga asked, "What you guys think the Warriors should do?" I'd say burn it down, start over, go young, trade everybody. Everybody must go. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about, and so and I want to say this because you just brought something up for the team, for the guys that's like upset their teams haven't done anything or haven't made any moves. It's not that these teams aren't trying, y'all. It takes two. These teams are working the phones. They are constantly there. This is what you do. You're on the phones. You're talking to guys who are available. You're talking to teams about guys who may be on the trade block. This is what you're doing. 95% of the things that are talked about never happen. That is the nature. But they are having conversations. They are behind the scenes working. Trust me. So don't think that they're just sitting on their hands. They're not. They're trying to. Every team is trying to improve its roster, or in the case of a team like Brooklyn, they're trying to, get rid of some contracts and recoup some assets. So every team is working. It's just what are they working on right now? But to answer your question about Golden State, what Golden State has to do is live in the new reality. The new reality is they are in the West a mid team at best. And a team that's going to be fighting, trying to get in the playoffs next year. This is where they are.
Hey, y'all had y'all time, Kaminga. Y'all had y'all time. It's nature of the beast, bro. Y'all run was for a minute too.
Yeah, they had an 8-year run. And again, some of that was hampered by injuries, particularly obviously Klay being out for 2.5 years with injuries. But you had a great run. Figure out, are you going to extend Kaminga this offseason, or are you going to wait a year?
I think they should. They better extend Kaminga.
I think it all comes down to if they can move Wiggins. If they figure out a way to move Wiggins without taking on a lot of, long-term deals and contracts, then I think they will. But they may wait to extend, may wait a year to extend Kaminga.
Yeah. Kaminga said in the chat, I say we build around Kaminga, honestly. I mean, of course you want to build around Kaminga. I see you're a fan of Kaminga, your TikTok name, Kaminga. But for me, I think another guy that I would like to see go to Denver, if they could go get him, is Miles Bridges. I think Miles Bridges will fit perfectly with Denver. I think he could. That's like the Aaron Gordon role. I think he could come get them like the Aaron Gordon type minutes and numbers. So I think he will be good. But the other ones that I think that's best available, I don't know why he's not on this list though. But besides Buddy Hield, I feel like if you need a shooter, you better be calling Buddy Hield instantly, which I don't understand why Buddy Hield can't consistently stay on the team, because Buddy Hield is not a bad player. He's solid for what his role is to do, and he can shoot the lights out the ball. You need somebody who can shoot the ball, Buddy Hield can knock it down. And I also like Gary Trent Jr. I think Gary Trent Jr. is a nice, solid role player you can get for the low, come fit in, defend, shoot. So I think that would be like my best free agents available for me. I know I'm looking at the list. They say it's like we talked about LeBron and DeRozan, Miles Bridges, Buddy Hield, Sadiq Bey, Tyus Jones, Moritz Wagner, Mo Wagner, which I know he declined his thing, but he gonna go back to Orlando. Spencer Dinwiddie, Malik Beasley, Isaac Okoro is their top 10 that I've seen on this list. But like I said, I'm still looking at that. I'll say, for me, if I was a team, and I'm going to see what's like what I need that's available, I gotta like them three. Like I'll go get because DeMar 50-50. Unless DeMar say he come off the bench, I'm cool with that. DeMar can play his game how you want to play his game off the bench, but he can't shoot threes consistently. So that'd be his only problem with me for DeMar. Yep, that has been another great episode of Real Takes Over Fake Debates. I appreciate everybody in every chat watching. Sean, episode 86. Who do you got for episode 86?
Ooh, man, 86.
I got mine.
You got your give me yours.
Oh, Hines Ward.
Oh, Dirty Man. Yeah. No,
that's crazy.
Yeah. No, listen. Hey, Hines Ward, he probably the best blocking wide receiver ever. Yeah, so yeah, no, he was, I mean, probably the best blocking wide receiver ever. Man, 86. Yeah, I mean, I guess Hines Ward, that'd be the one.
I had looked it up again. I'm gonna go down some names for you. This player 86. Give me 1 second. I just looked at this earlier. Okay. So we got there's 3 in the Hall of Fame. We got Buck Buchanan, Dante Levy, and James Lofton.
Yeah.
We got Hines Ward, Stanley Morgan, Boyd Dallas, Gary Collins, Antonio Freeman, Cedric Hardman, Verlin Biggs, Jake Reed, Earl Faison. I don't know, Gerald Adams. I'm trying to look at the list, see if I see anyone that I know. JT Smith. There's a lot of old people name on him, man. Zach Ertz. Hey, I know what Zach Ertz is. There's a lot of old players on this list. I would have thought like both wide receivers were 86 though. That's crazy.
Yeah, you know what? I'll go with Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz. Probably, not. I don't know if he's a guaranteed Hall of Famer, but definitely in that Hall of Fame conversation. So yeah, I'll go Zach Ertz.
Zach Ertz. Next episode gonna be 87. Yeah, we could probably get something happen with 87.
87. I already know my 87. So yeah, I'm good. I know my 87.
I already know who you picking for 87 too.
You sure?
Positive.
Okay, all right.
His son just went in the league, right?
No, he's 88.
Oh, I'm not wrong person. No. But he played with that person. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, I know he's next. Yeah. He ain't in Indiana, but he's a Reggie though.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, he was. Wait, I'm tripping. I just messed myself up with that. But yeah, I knew that was good. But you probably could guess mad. Yeah. But I appreciate you guys for watching Real Takes Over Fake Debates. Another great episode. Sbtalksports, Sean Webb, as always. See you guys on Friday. Make sure you be checking out the clips, the shorts, the clip videos. Make sure you guys go watch all those videos, man. Appreciate you guys. And wait till we see you on Friday. Peace.